Nobody's had a harder run of it than experts. Nobody has more beclowned themselves than experts. So is it smart for Donald Trump to rely on two experts in New York? Here's what I mean. The team for Donald Trump's defense in the New York case with Alvin Bragg made a concerted and real effort, an acknowledged decision that when they impaneled their jury, they put on that jury two attorneys, two lawyers. It's something that no lawyers want to do. Not sit on a jury, but put another lawyer on the jury. Why? Because they become super jurors. They become the expert of that jury. And everyone else follows their lead. They're presumed to know more than the average juror. I'm talking about in the minds of their fellow jurors. As we realize, and I think it's become increasingly clear in a conversation we've had on a continuing basis here on the Will Cain Show, people make emotional decisions. I think the team for Donald Trump made a calculated gamble, and one that I don't think is necessarily a bad gamble, but no doubt a gamble to say, I'm going to put two lawyers on here to see if they can allow their supposed knowledge and fidelity to the law to overcome their emotion. The emotion being their presumptive hatred of Donald Trump. Trial in New York, 83% votes for Joe Biden, overwhelmingly liberal. You're going to get 12 people that hate Donald Trump. People make emotional decisions. And that's what the testimony of Stormy Daniels was all about. Play into emotions. Throw dirt, slime, make it ugly, talk about sex, talk about positions, prejudice the jury, prejudiced an already prejudiced jury against Donald Trump. And the bank shot is, let's hope two experts can overcome their emotion to understand the charges make no sense and the testimony of Stormy Daniels has no relevance to the guilt of Donald Trump. The problem is experts are a joke. Experts have tripped all over themselves, most obviously over the past 5 years. Experts have ruined their own reputation. Bill Maher did an awesome thing on this on Real Time this past weekend, where he went through the decisions that drove us through the pandemic, all by at least self-styled, in some cases government-sanctioned experts. We walked up and down grocery aisles with arrows pointing in different directions. We went to ATMs with boxes where we couldn't stand too close to the guy in front of us, but we could stand right next to the guy at the next ATM because, COVID has no lateral movement. It has no hops. Can't go over one of these, plastic barriers. It only has linear motion like an alligator. It can only go forward and backwards. It's got no leaps. It's got no side to side. I mean, COVID, they told us to, as Bill Maher pointed out, play baseball in front of cardboard cutouts. Remember, look at this videos and pictures of guys playing a full-on Major League Baseball game, and it's little cardboard cutouts of fans in the stands. Experts dismissed natural immunity. Experts told us to turn ourselves into life-size condoms, covered up in plastic and wearing stupid masks outside. Experts told us not to get fresh air. Again, in the words of Bill Maher, the experts closed the ocean. These are the experts of our world. And there's really no bigger expert who's beclowned themselves over a much longer period than 5 years than the voodoo scientists, also known as economists. Economists don't know what's going to happen. They have a worse prediction record than the weatherman. And by the way, that's another set of experts who have beclowned themselves, climate experts. But Joe Biden this week sat down shockingly for an interview with Aaron Burnett of CNN, and they went over the economy. And Biden said things like, well, when he came into the Oval Office, there was a 9% inflation rate. False. Biden said things like, polls showing there's extreme levels of concern of consumer confidence, or that real income is down. He was dismissive of them and said they were wrong. And he'll spin various stats and tell you that a Snickers bar has suffered from shrinkflation, not because of inflation, but because of corporate greed, which we're going to address. And no doubt, there will be self-styled experts. There will be voodoo scientists. There will be economists that publish numbers or back up Joe Biden. Because there is no bigger group who has lost the trust of the public than the expert. So it's quite a gamble. It's quite a bank shot. It might be a gamble that I think I would take as well. Let me see if I can find two experts, the lawyers that sit on a jury, who will set aside their emotion to find reason, to find logic, and justice in the law. But if he does that, if the team does that, uses experts to guide us away from emotion, toward independent thinking, and toward justice, that will be a huge turn in the tides over the past half decade for experts.